You feel it more than you hear it. The shift. It doesn't happen overnight. It happens slowly. When the calls stop coming, when your advice becomes old-fashioned, when the world starts treating your strength like it's expired. It's in the way younger men interrupt you mid-sentence. It's in the way women glance past you like furniture. It's in the way your reflection looks back, not with fear, but with fatigue. And somewhere deep inside, you begin to ask, is this it? They told you these years would be golden, but all you see is gray. Let me be clear. This isn't a midlife crisis. This is a spiritual ambush that every man faces once he's given too much, stayed too long, or been too silent. And now the modern world has a new lie. Old men are obsolete, that your power has passed, that you've aged out of relevance, that you must now apologize for your masculinity, for your opinions, for your presence. But that lie is a trap, because you are not obsolete. You are awakening. You are not entering your decline. You are entering your dominance. Don't stumble over something behind you. The Quran. Because the world will try to convince you to look back, to regret the years spent grinding, sacrificing, surviving. But Stoicism doesn't teach regret. It teaches ownership. Your past wasn't perfect. It wasn't meant to be. It was meant to forge you, so that this version of you could finally emerge. Not softer, not quieter, but sharper, more surgical, more still, more dangerous. Because the truth is this: your best years are not behind you. They are the years you live with full awareness, no wasted words, and zero need to prove. This video isn't motivation, it's a mirror. And if you dare look into it fully, you won't just remember who you are. You'll realize what the world forgot. That older men don't fade, they harden. Let's begin. 1. Stillness is strength, not silence. Younger men confuse motion with power. They think if they run fast enough, talk loud enough, post often enough, they'll be seen. And they will, briefly. But that's not power. That's exhaustion dressed as ambition. As a Stoic man, you've learned something far more valuable. Stillness isn't the absence of movement. It's the presence of meaning. Be like the cliff against which the waves continually break, but it stands firm and tames the fury of the water. Marcus Aurelius. You don't move just because others do. You don't react just because something provokes you. You've earned the right to wait, to observe, to strike only when necessary. That's the difference between a young man on edge and an old man with edge. Because in stillness, you're not passive, you're precise. You conserve your words because you've watched people die from the wrong ones. You don't chase every opportunity because you know some doors are meant to stay shut. You don't panic in chaos because chaos is just the echo of those who never built peace. And while they scroll for validation, you scan the room for patterns. While they talk to be heard, you speak to be remembered. While they chase the world's attention, the world can't stop watching you. That is Stoic leverage. And here's the part most men miss. Stillness intimidates the weak. They don't understand the man who doesn't flinch, who doesn't need a podium, who sits with full presence and no apology. The feminine world, chaotic, ever-moving, is drawn to this stillness. Because in a man who is unmoved, she finds the one thing she cannot create for herself. Containment. That's why your silence is not empty. It's commanding. It's not passive. It's poised. You don't speak often, because when you do, it's final. The nearer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer he is to strength. Marcus Aurelius. Stillness is not a mood. It is a tactic, a weapon, a sign of a man who no longer needs to be liked, because he has become respected. So the next time the world pulls at you, to rush, to rant, to react, don't move, don't explain, don't collapse into noise. Hold frame, hold presence, hold truth. Because the man who can sit still while the world trembles is the man who commands it. 2. Kill the boy, wear the crown. There's a boy inside every man, and if you're honest, he's still in you. He's the one who waited for permission, the one who stayed quiet to keep the peace, the one who believed being good would earn him love, respect, safety. He's the reason you said yes when you wanted to say no. He's the reason you apologized for your boundaries. He's the reason you felt ashamed for simply being a man in a world that keeps trying to soften you. And the truth is, he served his purpose. He kept you alive. He kept you small enough to fit in homes, classrooms, relationships that couldn't hold your full weight. But now, he must die. It is not death that a man should fear, but never beginning to live. Marcus Aurelius. This is that beginning. Because legacy doesn't start when you retire. Legacy begins the moment you stop negotiating with the boy inside and let the man rise. The man who speaks without shrinking. The man who walks into a room and doesn't ask, "Do they like me?" He already knows. They'll adjust. The modern world has waged war against strong men. They label your directness as aggression, your standards as control, your calm as emotionally unavailable. But here's the Stoic truth. The crown was never made for men who bend. It was forged for men who carry weight, emotional weight, financial weight, generational weight. You don't become that man by reading books and quoting philosophers. You become him by killing the part of you that fears being misunderstood. Because once you stop explaining yourself, once you stop proving you're good, you step into something far more powerful, presence. The kind of presence that commands a room without raising your voice. The kind of presence that makes people speak carefully around you. Because you've mastered the art of saying little, but meaning everything. That's the crown. Not status, not validation, but the silent sovereignty of a man who has mastered himself. No man is free who is not master of himself. Epictetus. So ask yourself, have you been leading or apologizing? Have you been serving your mission or keeping the peace? Have you been building a legacy or avoiding discomfort? Because the truth is, you can't wear the crown while protecting the boy. You have to kill him, not with cruelty, with clarity. You have to look him in the eye and say, "Thank you for keeping me safe, but I'm not here to be safe. I'm here to build something that outlives me." And then you rise, you straighten your back, you speak slower, you stop over-explaining, you stop asking people how to be a man. Because now, you remember, 3, reclaim the temple. They'll tell you it's normal, the weight gain, the fatigue, the joint pain, the soft gut, the slower mind, and most men accept it. They laugh it off. They say, I'm just getting old. But here's the truth no one tells you. Your body doesn't betray you. You abandon it. It's not age that's destroying you. It's apathy. It's routine. It's comfort. It's the slow drip of self-neglect masked as maturity. A man's worth is measured by the things he lets himself become accustomed to. Marcus Aurelius. You used to move with fire. Now you move like someone waiting to die slowly. Not because you're weak, but because no one ever told you. Discipline isn't punishment. It's respect. It's prayer. It's rebellion. Every stretch at dawn, every push-up before the sun, every meal that nourishes instead of numbs is not just self-care. It's a daily reminder that you are still dangerous. Because here's the reality. You don't need to look like a model. You need to look like someone who can't be broken. Not just for the world to see, but for you, for your son watching you, for your woman who longs to feel safe next to you, for your future that's still calling your name. This isn't about weight loss. This is about war readiness. You see, the man who does not train his body slowly becomes owned by it. He can't lead with clarity if he wakes up foggy. He can't speak with confidence if his gut is inflamed. He can't protect those he loves if he's one illness away from collapse. Your body is the first boundary, and if you don't defend that territory, don't expect the world to respect your borders. This is why Stoics trained every day, not to impress, but to endure. We should discipline the body rigorously so it may not be disobedient to the mind. Seneca. So move, walk early, train in silence, push your limits without a crowd. Let sweat become your reminder. I am still alive, and I will not go quietly. You're not chasing youth. You're reclaiming readiness, the ability to carry your name with strength until your final breath. So get up, not for fitness, not for trends, but for honor. Your temple is not gone. It's just been waiting for its king to come home. 4. Stop chasing. Start radiating. There's a truth most men spend their whole lives running from. The moment you stop chasing women is the moment you start attracting the right ones. But to understand why, you must first understand this. Masculine energy moves outward, feminine energy moves inward. The feminine is drawn to what is centered, to what is still, to what is self-contained and quietly powerful. But you were never taught that. You were taught to entertain, to perform, to charm, to impress. And in doing so, you leaked your essence. You became a man who seeks approval instead of embodying authority. You chased dopamine instead of building discipline. You chased validation instead of cultivating presence. You chased women and wondered why they ran. But here's what the Stoics knew. You don't attract by pursuit. You attract by becoming immovable in your own frame. He who is not a slave to his passions commands the passions of others. Epictetus. Because the man who is still chasing is still empty, still fragmented, still looking to be completed by something outside of himself. But the man who is whole, he walks into a room and the air thickens. He doesn't seek, he selects. He doesn't beg, he blesses. He doesn't perform, he radiates. And here's the paradox. The woman who once ignored you when you chased now studies you when you pause. She feels something she didn't before. Not charm, not effort, but presence. She feels the weight of a man who doesn't need her, but can hold her, who doesn't impress her, but grounds her. A man who doesn't fight for attention, because his attention is the reward. A woman's desire is drawn not to the man who needs her, but to the man who governs himself. Unknown but true. So stop. Stop trying to be younger. Stop trying to be relatable. Stop trying to impress anyone. Start becoming a man that cannot be shaken by beauty, chaos, or silence. Because when your validation is internal, when your rituals are consistent, when your energy is unavailable to chaos, you walk like gravity. And women, true feminine women, don't chase that. They lean toward it. Because in your restraint, they feel safe. And in your clarity, they feel seen. You want to attract real connection? Then become the mountain. Let her wine dance around you. Not because you're cold, but because you've stopped outsourcing your fire. 5. Live like they'll study you later. One day, your name will be spoken in a room you'll never walk into. You won't be there to clarify. You won't be there to correct. You won't be there to defend your intentions. Only your reputation will speak. And here's the truth that silences every excuse. Men are not remembered for what they felt. They are remembered for what they built. And what you build brick by brick is not always made of stone. Sometimes it's built in silence, in how you treated the person who couldn't benefit you, in what you refused to tolerate when no one was watching, in the pain you carried quietly so your family could sleep peacefully. Legacy is not a speech you write, it's the echo of your presence. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Marcus Aurelius. So let's ask the question no one wants to answer. What will they say when you're gone? Not on Instagram, not in a polished eulogy, but in private moments. In rooms filled with men you once led. In the silence between two sons trying to remember how you handled pressure. In the look your daughter gives her husband, asking herself, is he like my father? This is the brutal beauty of legacy. It doesn't care what you meant. It only remembers what you did and who you became in the final chapters. So stop living like you're waiting to be remembered. Start living like you're being studied, because someone is. That younger man who watches how you walk through failure. That employee who studies how you speak to your wife. That stranger who remembers a single sentence you said because it broke something open in him. That's legacy, not a trophy, not applause, not money, but weight. You want to be quoted after death? Then live in a way that echoes through the living. Because every man dies, but not every man becomes a reference point. So become one. Become the man whose name gets brought up when younger men ask, who showed you how to carry yourself like that? Let the answer be, my father, my mentor, my boss, my brother, or simply, that man. Death smiles at us all. All a man can do is smile back. Marcus Aurelius. Smile back with strength, with clarity, with work done well, with a life that says, I was here, and it mattered. If this entire message shook something inside you, if it brought your spirit back to the front lines, then say it. Type, I walk with weight in the comments, not for me, but to mark your decision, to remind the algorithm and your own bones that this is the second half of your life, and this time, you're walking like your name depends on it, because it does. If you're still watching this, then you're not just a man. You're a builder of legacy, of character, of weight. You've seen what most men ignore. You've faced truths most men avoid. You've remembered what the world wanted you to forget, that real men don't vanish. They rise quietly, deliberately, permanently. Now it's your turn to step forward. Comment below, I walk with weight. Let the world know you still carry fire. Subscribe, not to be entertained, but to be reminded of who you are and who you're becoming. Share this with a man who's forgotten his edge. You might just wake him up, because we don't need more opinions. We need more men. Men who walk with presence, men who speak with restraint, men who lead with legacy. If that's you, you're home. Welcome to the second half of your life. Make it undeniable.